Okay, so good day everyone. This is your Geotechnical Engineering 1 PCE 14. So this is the introduction for our class. So let's start. So for your introduction for your geotechnical engineering, so let us try to define what is geotechnical engineering. So geotechnical engineering, also known as your geotechniques, it is the branch of civil engineering that is concerned with the engineering behavior of your earth materials. No? So when we say geotechnical engineering, it is classified into two, which is your soil mechanics and rock mechanics. But for this semester, we will just focus on your soil mechanics. So it is very important for us, civil engineers, to solve the engineering problems and design for your engineering works. So let us define what is soil mechanics. Okay, soil mechanics is a discipline of engineering science which deals with the properties and behavior of your soil as a structural material. So we all know that our infrastructures are built on soils, no? That's why it's very important for us to study what type of soil yung pagtatayuan natin ng mga projects or ng mga buildings natin. So the main objective of your soil mechanics is to lay down the properties, the principles, and the theories na magiging safe yung ating structure. Okay, so short history about your soil mechanics. No, your soil mechanics was established in as a branch of civil engineering. No, last or in 1930. Okay, so itong lalaki naman na nakikita ninyo sa picture, uh, he is the father of soil mechanics, and his name is Carl Terzaghi. Okay, so soil mechanics was coined by him. So if may nagtanong sino yung father of soil mechanics, oh, matik na, that is Carl Terzaghi, no, inyong papa sa soil mechanics. Okay, so why is it very important for us to study your soil mechanics? No, so let us talk about your foundation, earthen dam, and embankment. So when we say foundation, okay, all the civil engineering structures ultimately rest on the soil. So tina-transfer yung load natin sa soil, so we have foundations to retain the structure. So meaning to say, yung soil natin is yung nagiging support sa ating mga infrastructures, no? Most specifically sa ating vertical infrastructures, no? Kasi meron tayong foundation, no? 'Di ba kung sa building or kung sa sa buildings natin, if you have building, so meron tayong foundation. Okay? So lahat ng loads na kini-carry or lahat ng loads na binibigay ng inyong building, 'di ba pinapasa natin 'yan lahat sa foundation. Okay? And then, yung loads naman na kini-carry ng foundation ninyo, saan natin pinapasa? Pinapasa natin sa soil. Okay? So that is why it is very important na before tayo patayo ng mga buildings ninyo, it is very important to test what type of soil yung pagtatayuan natin. No? Nag-FDT tayo or nag-field density test, no, to check if okay ba yung lupa or hindi, no? So, like for example na lang, no, meron tayong weak soil. Kapag meron tayong weak soil, siguro pwede siya maging partially saturated or basta medyo loamy siya or medyo moist siya, ganyan, no? So, kung tatayo lang tayo dito ng foundation na hindi natin inaalam what type of soil yan, tapos weak soil pala, anong mangyayari sa building natin? Hindi siya mag-stand strong. It's because weak soil to, pwedeng makollapse yung building natin at any moment. No? So that's why it's very important na alam, again, ulit-ulitin ko, na alam natin yung soil type natin para alam din natin yung foundation na gagamitin ninyo. Because different type of soil, uses different type of footing. Like for example na lang again, balik ako sa weak soil. So kapag weak soil yan, the type of foundation na ating gagamitin is your deep foundation, no? Where hahanapin natin or ibabaon natin yung foundation ninyo hanggang yung foundation ninyo is umabot sa solid particle ng inyong soil. Kasi hindi dapat magre-rest yung foundation ninyo sa weak soil. Unsafe na yun. Diba isa sa CE laws natin, no, sa canons natin, that every time magde-design tayo is dapat kino-consider natin yung welfare and safety of the public. Okay? Next is you have your earthen dome. Your earthen domes are constructed to retain the water. The soil to be used for these constructions must be suitable enough to use in construction. So normally, no, wala kasi akong picture na dagdag, but your earthen dome is nakikita natin sa ilalim ng soil normally, no? Tinataas natin yung soil natin, tapos dito nakikita yung earthen dam, no, para ma-retain natin yung level ng inyong tubig. Kasi kung iisipin ninyo, no, kung wala tong earthen dam natin, so flat yung soil. So yung tubig ninyo pwedeng mag-flow lang anywhere. No, sana nagme-make sense. Next is you have your embankment. Okay? So your embankment is constructed to raise the level of the highways on the plain because there are chances of flood. And also, it is required to keep the foundation of the pavement above the water table. So, yun daw. Ini-embank or pinapatungan natin yung lupa natin para mas tumaas yung elevation para iwas baha. Tama nga naman. The highest the elevation yung daan natin, no, mas iwas flood or mas iwas baha. No? Another siguro example for embankment is that, di ba, there are some places na dati siyang sapa or I forget the term lang. Parang basta sapa siya or ano pa ba? Basta water siya, no? Ang ginawa is in-embank, nagkaroon ng embankment, no? Tinapalan ng mga soil tapos naging subdivision. Di ba meron ganun? No, in-innovate nila yung place, no, para maging soil lang. So nagtatambak sila or ini-imbank nila yung soil, no, para tumaas yung para ma-keep yung foundation sa water table. Okay, so let us define your soil. No, your soil is a naturally occurring material that obtained from the weathering or decomposition of disintegration rocks. So, pag sinabi nating soil constituents, na ito yung mga parts of soil na pag-uusapan natin. So, you have your soil or solid particles and you have voids. No? Pag sinabi nating voids, it is classified into pwedeng tubig, pwede din siyang air, or pwede din tubig and air. Okay? So, kung i-zoom natin yung soil particle ninyo, for example, ito yon, itong mga maliliit na bilog, yan yung mga soils ninyo. Okay? Exaggerate lang yung pagkakadrawing. And then, the spaces ulit, the spaces between your soil particle, ito yung void na tinatawag natin or voids, no? It is being classified as water or air. So, sabihin na lang natin air void yan, no? So, have you ever noticed na kapag tinapon or tumapon kayo ng tubig sa soil, di ba ina-absorb ng soil yung tubig? Parang yung sinisipsip, no? Kasi permeable yung soil natin. Sinisipsip niya yung tubig. So, ang nangyayari lang dito, saan pumapasok yung tubig? Pumapasok yung tubig natin sa air voids ninyo because there are volumes na pwede pang pasukan. Okay? So, yung air voids ninyo mapapalitan ng water. Kasi tubig naman, sinipsip naman niya yung tubig. Okay? Sana nag-make sense yan. So, you have here three different types of your soil, which is your soil constituents pa rin. You have your dry soil. So if only air is presented in the voids of the compressed soil, then it is called dry soil. Okay? Pag sinabi nating dry soil, that is air or solid or soil solids lang. So, the perfect siguro na example na mabibigay ko dito for your dry soil, actually hindi na nga eh, dapat dito tayo sa ideal case, no? Na solid soil lang, walang air, wala ding water, no? So itong ideal case for your solid soils, the perfect example for this one is yung inyong ginagawa kapag gumagawa tayo ng horizontal projects, no? Pag sinabi nating horizontal projects, yan yung mga roads or highways ninyo, 'di ba? Kung napapansin ninyo, before yung ating daanan, before yan nilalagyan or before natin binubuhusan ng semento, before natin nilalagyan ng siguro bakal, no? Ang ginagawa diyan is kino-compact muna. No, yung parang roller na truck, yan, kino-compact yung soil natin. No, bakit ba kino-compact yung soil? Ano ba yung use bakit natin kino-compact yung soil? No, kino-compact yung soil para matanggal yung mga air voids dito. Para maging solid soil lang. Okay? Kasi kung hindi natin i-compact yung lupa natin sa daanan, no, may mga air voids ito, ibig sabihin kung bubuhusan natin to ng semento, yung ano bang tawag yan, yung failure is mas mabilis mangyayari, no, kasi may air voids, so pwedeng magkaroon ng moist sa ilalim, no, or pwedeng mabasa. So kapag nagkaroon ng moist sa ilalim ng semento, no, it can cause rupture or pwede ito yung magiging rason ng pagkasira ng daanan, yung mga cracks ninyo. Or pwede ito yung magiging rason kung bakit nagra-rust yung inyong bakal, no? Kasi hindi maayos yung pagka-compact ng inyong soil. So that is why it's very important na kino-compact natin yung soils natin sa road before natin siya buhusan ng semento. Next is you have your saturated soil. So your constituents here is water and soil solids. Ibig sabihin ng saturated soil, basa yung ating lupa. Okay? And specifically, I think the example for this one is yung sa dagat, no? Water or seawater and soil. No, wala tayong air voids na makikita doon. Okay? Next is you have your partially saturated. Pag sinabi natin partially saturated, no, your soil constituents there is your solid soil, water, and air. So pag sinabi natin partially, ibig sabihin hindi lahat is basa. Okay? Partially saturated or pwede natin siyang sabihin moist soil lang. Nagmo-moist lang. Okay? So sana naintindihan yung difference ng ating soil when it comes to soil constituents. Okay? So kung pag-uusapan natin yung soil particle size, no, sa design natin or sa pagsasolve natin dito sa ating geotechnical engineering, no, nag-i-enclose tayo or hindi naman nag-i-enclose or more specific tayo about this four soil particle, which is your gravel, sand, silt, and clay. Okay? So take note, gravel is bigger than, next na. So nag-next tayo. No? Nag-next yung slide natin. So ulitin ko na lang. So take note na ha. So take note that gravel is bigger than sand. And sand is bigger than silt. And silt is bigger than clay. Okay? So going back to your geology, ano ba yung mas malaki pa sa gravel? Diba those are your boulders or pwede din cobble. Okay? What is the smallest soil particle sa clay? Pwede natin yung tawaging colloid. Okay? So kung bibigyan tayo ng isang sakong or wag naman isang sako, isang truck, normally truck kasi yan, 'di ba? Isang truck ng soil, paano natin malalaman kung nasaan yung gravel, nasaan yung sand, silt, and clay? So basically, kapag titingnan lang natin yan, hindi natin malalaman kung nasaan, no? Naked eye natin, hindi natin malalaman kung nasaan. So, with the help of these four organizations, no, mas mapapadali nating malaman kung nasaan yung particle size ng soil natin. Okay? So, you have your MIT, your USDA, AASHTO, and USCS. USCS yan. Okay? Parehas sila ng goal, parehas sila ng meaning, which is hinahanap yung different particle size ng gravel, sand, and silt, pero magkaiba yung limitations nila. No, nakikita naman natin. And take note, itong numbers na nakikita ninyo, no, the sizes of this is in terms of mm. This is 2 mm, 2 mm to 0.006, 0.06 mm. Okay? Ito yung tutulong sa atin para malaman natin yung soil particle size. So, ma'am, meron naman tayong mga grain size. So, paano natin malalaman? Pa rin, i-roller ba natin, ma'am? Hahanapin natin yung mga bato na may greater than 2 mm para malaman natin na gravel yon. Actually, pwede naman, no? Pero sobrang hirap pag ganun yung method natin, no? Meron tayong another analyzation for that, which is your sieve analysis. Okay? Yung sieve ninyo serves as a strainer or salaan, no? Yung ginagamit natin sa kusina para sa mga noodles. Parang ganun yung kanyang thought. But, pag sinabi nating yung sa sieve analysis for your soil sample, mas malaki lang yung opening. No? Mas malaki lang yung opening. So, you have here your sieve number, and per sieve number, merong specific na opening, which is in terms of mm. So, doon sa ating materials laboratory, yung sieve natin, ang shape nito is square. No, ganyan yung opening niya. So, depende kung anong number ng sieve yun, depende yung opening. Okay? So, paano natin gagawin yan? No, i-arrange natin yung sieves natin according to its number. And take note, okay? Take note na kapag ina-arrange natin yung sieves natin, always remember na yung nasa taas yung pinakamalaki ang opening. And sa baba, yung pinakamaliit na opening. Okay, yan dapat yung arrangement. Okay? So, para, para sa ito, patong-patong na yung mga sieves. So, paano, kapag nilagyan natin to ng soil mass sa taas, paano aabot yung soil dito sa baba? Ang gagawin lang natin dito is, isi-shake natin yung sieve ninyo. Okay? Isi-shake lang yan. So, let us talk about this one. I think, okay, so you have your effective size D10, which is hinahanap natin yung opening or yung diameter natin with corresponding to 10% finer. Your uniformity coefficient, that is D60 over D10, where your D60 is corresponding to 60% finer. So you have your CC and your sorting coefficient. Ibig sabihin lang nito, ha? D10. O yan. Ito yung D is your opening and 10 is your percent finer. Okay, ibig sabihin binigay yung percent finer, hahanapin natin yung opening. Okay, so let us try your example number 1, which is hahanapin natin yung effective size, which is your D10. And then you have your D25, D30, and D60. 5 to 8, you have your CU, CC, and your SO. So, for problem 5 to 8, it's very easy na lang, no? Kasi kapag nakuha natin yung values ng 1 to 4 ninyo, somatic, makukuha na rin natin yung values ng 5 to 8. Okay? So, looking at your table, so you have here your sieve numbers. So, each sieve numbers has different opening. Okay? So, take note that is in mm. So, you have your mass retained and you have your CMR. Pag sinabi nating CMR, that is your cumulative mass retained. Okay, sabi natin that is your retain. Pag sinabi naman nating CMP, that is your cumulative mass passing. Okay? And you have here your percent finer. Ibig sabihin kung i-percentage natin yung amount of your soil mass na pumasa sa specific sieve number, dito natin makikita. Okay? So let us start to solve your CMR or your cumulative mass retained. So it is just the mass of your soil sample that is retained sa sieve plus your mass of soil sample sa preceding sieve natin. So first tayo dito, no, sa first table natin. So ilan ba yung naiwan natin dito na soil mass, no, for your sieve number 4? As you can see, no data, ibig sabihin that is 0. Walang naiwan. Lahat is nag-pass through sieve number having an opening of 4.75. Okay? So sabi dito, your mass retained plus the preceding, no, mass natin of soil with your sieve. Okay? Pag sinabi natin preceding, ibig sabihin yung kasunod na sieve. So basically, that is just 0 plus 75. Okay? So you have 75. Anong kasunod ng 75? That is 155. So 75 plus 155, that is 230. 230 plus 95, that is 325. 325 plus 125, that is 450. 450 plus 130, yan yun, that is 580. 580 plus 703, 580 plus 123, that is 703. 703 plus 50, that is 753. 753 plus 18, that is equal to 771. So, paano ba natin malalaman kung tama yung values ng pagkakasolve natin? Okay? If you will get the sum of your mass retained, no, the total of this is equivalent to 771. So, if the total of your mass retained is equal to the total mass, no, of your mass retained, therefore, you are on the right track. Okay, sana nagme-make sense ako sa inyo. Next is you have your CMP or your cumulative mass passing. Okay? So, ibig sabihin na nito, you have your total mass minus your CMR. Okay? Ano ba yung total mass natin? Diba? That is 771. 771 minus your mass retained, which is 0. Ano? 0, di ba to? No? Ibig sabihin, your CMP or your percent passing for sieve number 4 is 771, which makes sense, no? Because according to your CMR, wala tayong na-retain na mass soil for your sieve number 4. So, kung wala na-retain na mass soil, ibig sabihin, lahat is pumasa. Sana nagme-make sense. Okay? Next is 771 minus 75. So, that is 696. 696 minus 155, that is 541. 541 minus 95, that is 446. 446 minus 125, ilan yan? That is 321. 321 minus 130, that is 191. 191 minus 123, that is 68. 68 minus 50, that is 18. 18 minus 18, that is 0. O, ito naman, another conclusion. If ang sabi ng CMR natin, no, there is 771 retain sa pan, may naiwan daw na 771 na mass sa ating pan. So kung ang sunod na tanong is ilan naman yung pumasa? Ibig sabihin, that is 0. Since the total mass is 771 and then the mass retained sa pan natin is also 771, ibig sabihin 0 yung passing, no? Nagme-make sense. So to get your percent finer or your percent passing, ibig sabihin lang nito, ilang percentage yung pumasa sa sieve number 4. So our formula for that one is CMP over your total mass times 100. Start tayo dito. 771 divided by 771 times 100. Basically, that is 100. Next naman, 696 divided by 771 times 100. That is 90.272. Sundan nyo na lang. Next is 541, 446, so on and so forth. Okay? Check the values na lang if tama. 70.169, 57. Next is 41.634, 41 point, naulit na. That is, ilan ba? 24 pala. 24.773. Okay, you have 8.820 and 2.335. So basically, 0 divided by 771 times 100, that is 0. Okay? So, ang mahalaga lang naman talaga dito, sa lahat ng table na to, is itong percent finer at itong opening and sieve number natin para ma-solve natin itong hinahanap. Okay? So, first is that tinatanong tayo, ano daw yung magiging opening natin if you have 10% finer? Ibig sabihin, in mm yung hinahanap. Okay? So, you have D25, you have D30, you have D60. Okay? So, kung titingnan natin dito sa percent finer ninyo, okay, dito muna tayo sa 10%, may 10% ba kayong nakikita? Di ba wala? No? 100, 90, 70, 57, 41, walang 10. Okay? But we know that yung 10% ninyo is maybe somewhere in between 24 and 8. Tama ba? No? So, ito yung percent finer and then nandito yung opening. So, ibig sabihin, somewhere in between rin, nandito yung opening ng 10% natin. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin para makuha natin yung values? No? Ang gagawin natin ngayon is tinatawag na interpolation. No, i-interpolate natin itong apat na values na to get the value na hinahanap natin, which is your D10. And the formula of that one is x minus x sub L over y minus y sub L is equals to x sub u minus x sub L over y sub u minus y sub L. Ibig sabihin lang ng L, that is your lower limit. Ibig sabihin ng U, that is your upper limit. So, dito, sin mo lower limit, ibig sabihin yung nasa baba. Lower limit, upper limit, lower limit, upper limit. So, we have two variables, okay? May X and Y. So, take note, yung opening, that is your X. Yung percent finer, that is your Y. Okay? Itong X and Y, ito yung unknown natin. Ito yung hinahanap natin. Okay? Sabihin natin, di ba yung opening yung hinahanap? Okay? What is the opening if the percent finer is 10? Kasi ito may hinahanap natin, D10. Okay? What is the opening if you have a 10% finer? Okay. Minus your X sub L or your lower limit, which is 0.150. Your Y sub L, yung low limit ng percent finer natin. That is 8.820 is equal to your upper limit for x, which is 180, minus your lower limit, which is 150, divided by your upper limit, which is 24.773, minus your lower limit na 8.820. Okay? So, using your calculator, shift solve. Ang lalabas ba na value is 0.152. And that is in millimeters. Ibig sabihin, sa 10% finer, ang opening niya, no? Ang opening natin is 0.152 mm. Okay? So, pwede natin itong gawin, no? Using your calculator. Pwede tayong mag-interpolate using your calculator, no? Without using this formula. But it is very important na alam nyo pa rin tong formula. Okay? So, erase ko to, no? Pwede nyo naman to balikan mamaya, no? Replay nyo lang. Sige, wait lang. Okay. So, pwede natin to gamitin sa inyong calculator, no? Because ang function lang nito is logarithm and arithmetic. So, hahanapin lang natin sa calculator ninyo yung a plus b ln x. So, magbe-base ako sa calculator na 530 or yung 991ES. Okay? So, mode 3, 4. No? Kung hindi ganyan yung calculator ninyo, mode kayo, hanapin nyo yung stat. Tapos yung 4 dyan is, yung sa calculator is nakalagay is ln x. Same lang yan. No? Dito kasi hindi lang kasya to sa calculator. Kung walang ln x naman, hanapin nyo yung log. Okay? Parehas lang din yan. Okay? So, kapag in-input nyo na yan, no, yung lalabas dyan is hihingian kayo ng values ng x and y. So, take note, your opening is x and your percent finer is y. Okay, sa 10% pa rin tayo ha. Ito yung ating limits. Erase ko na lang para mas makita. Okay, so ito yung limits natin. No, yan yun. So, ilalagay natin dito sa x is 0.180 and 0.150. Yung partner niya sa y is 24.773 and you have 8.820. Input nyo yan sa calculator ninyo. After natin i-input, press nyo yung AC. Okay? For some calculators, no, next step is shift 1. Okay? Shift 1, then 5, and I think that is 4. Ano ba yan? No? Shift 1, tapos hanapin nyo yung reg na word or yung regression. Okay? That is reg. Pag pinindot nyo sa reg, may lalabas na 5 variables. Hanapin nyo yung x hat. Okay? Yung sa ibang calculator naman, yung Canon ba yan na calculator? No? 'Di ba? Pagkatapos nyo i-input itong mga values na to, press nyo, yung hanapin nyo yung apps. I think yung apps ninyo is nasa taas ng shift na button. Pag press nyo sa apps, no? Ano ba yung sunod nun? Press nyo sa apps, hanapin nyo yung regression. Di ba merong lalabas dyan na regression calculator? O hindi yan. Press nyo yung down. Di ba may button kayo na up, to the right, to the left, and down? Press nyo yung down. Okay? So, makikita nyo dyan yung regression. I think number 4 yan sa inyo. Okay? Press nyo yan, tapos hanapin nyo yung x hat. So, since the same na kayo lahat, no, 10% yung hinahanap natin, 10 x hat, ang lalabas dapat should be the same doon sa ginawa natin kanina, which is 152 mm. Nasusundan ba? Okay. Sige. Okay, so to continue, that is 0.152 mm. O, diretso tayo. D25 naman. Sige, D25. Using mode 3-4 pa rin para mas mabilis. Okay? Saan ba natin pwedeng makita yung 25%? Diba? That is somewhere in between 41 and 24%. So, somewhere dito. Okay? So, therefore, yung i-input natin sa ating calculator, that would be 0.250 tapos 0.180, so you have 41.634 and 24.773. AC pa rin, hanapin nyo pa rin yung log, hanapin nyo pa rin yung reg. Okay, and then find 25 x hat. Okay? Ano ba yung lalabas sa 25 x hat? That is 0.181 mm. O, dito yung answer sa D25 natin. 0.181 mm. How about D30? Yung D30 ba is nakikita natin sa parehas na input? Dito pa rin ba? Sa 41 and 24? Yes. No, nandyan pa rin siya. Somewhere in between. So, ibig sabihin, the same data, ang gagawin nyo lang is papalitan nyo lang yung katabi ng x hat. Dapat, yan is 30 x hat. No? Para mas madali yung pag-interpolate natin. And I think that is equivalent to 0.199 mm. Okay? 0.199 mm. Okay. So, dito naman tayo sa D60. Okay, D60. Saan ba ninyo banda nakikita yung 60%? Diba? That is somewhere in between 70 and 57. So, somewhere 850 and 425. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, mode 3-4 kayo ulit kasi nagbago na yung data. Okay? So, kung nahihirapan sa calculator, meet me na lang sa personal. Okay? Para mas maturuan ko kayo kung paano yung calculator ninyo. Okay? So, this should be 0.850 and then 0.425, 70.169, and 57.89. Sige, input nyo muna sa inyong calculator. This should be 897 para 3 decimals tayo. No, 57.897. And then AC. So, x hat pa rin kasi yung opening yung hinahanap. And that should be 60 x hat. And I think yung lumalabas na value is 0.4, mali. 0.479 mm. So, yun yung sagot dito. 0.479 mm. Okay, that is your answer for number 1, 2, 3, and 4. For question 5 to 8, no, kayo na lang. Kasi direct substitution na lang naman siya sa mga formula. Okay? Ito lang yung mahalaga na alam natin yung pagkuha sa mga openings natin using interpolation. Okay, example number 2. Solve for soil A for your CU and CC. Okay, so this table is easier compared to your example number 1. It's because kung nakikita ninyo, bigay na agad yung percent finer. Hindi na natin siya isa-solve pa kasi binigay na siya agad. Okay, so dito kayo tumingin sa ating soil A lang, hahanapin daw yung CU and CC. Okay? Pero kayo na lang yung humanap ng CU and ng CC. Okay? Kasi formula based lang naman. But, kinakailangan natin hanapin yung D10, D60, and D30 para ma-solve natin tong dalawa. So, ito lang yung ating patutunan ng pansin muna. Okay? So, highlight ko na lang ito. Paano ba? Ito lang yung tingnan natin. And yung opening. Ito yung opening. Okay? So, using the mode 3-4, can you get D10? Saan nyo ba makikita yung D10? Makikita nyo yung D10 somewhere in between this data. Okay? So, mode 3-4. Okay? So, you have X and Y. So, you have 0.149. Mali. So, meron tayong 0.250, 0.149, 17, and 9. Okay? So, hinahanap natin is 10. Oh, anong gagawin? Ibig sabihin, hahanapin nyo lang yung 10x hat. Okay? Sige nga. Subukan nyo. Okay? Ang value ba is equivalent to 0.159 mm. Okay? Punta tayo sa D10 yan. Punta tayo sa D30 muna. O, D30 tayo. X and Y pa rin. Saan ba natin makikita yung 30%? Saan ba? That is somewhere in between dito na data, 'di ba? Between 22 and 34. So, ibig sabihin, yung magiging data natin ngayon will be 34 and 22, 0.84 or 840, and 0.420. So, hahanapin natin ngayon will be 30 x hat. Okay? Ilan yung nakukuha ninyo? Paki-check nyo lang yung value ha. Kasi based on my computation, that is 0.667 mm. Huwag kalimutan yung unit. Okay, last one. D60 tayo. So, solve for D60. O, X and Y tayo ulit. X and Y. Saan ba natin nakikita yung 60%? Somewhere in between 64 and 54. So, ito dapat yung data natin. Okay? 64, 54, then you have 2.38, and you have 2. Okay? So, ilan ba to? Hahanapin pala natin yung 60x hat. Okay? Yung value ba ninyo is equivalent to 2.200? Paki-confirm nga if pareha tayo. 2.38, then 2. So, you have 64 and 54. Hanapin yung reg, hanapin yung x hat, then 60. I think this is correct. Okay? So, hindi pa ito yung final answer kasi yung hinahanap is CU and CC. So, for the formula of your CU, I think that is D60 over D10. So, ibig sabihin, that is just, ano yung 60 natin? 2.200 mm divided by your D10, which is 0.159 mm. So, ilan yan? 2.2 200 divided by 0.159. That is 13. No? Paki-check. That is 13.836. So, anong unit natin? Take note, your CU and CC is unitless. Bakit magiging unitless? It's because mm here will be cancelled. Okay? I hope I'm making sense. Okay? So, for soil B and soil C, that is your assignment number 1. Okay? Assignment number 1, so find CU and CC. Okay? So for this one, we have your MIT, USDA, AASHTO, and USCS. Okay? So ibig sabihin, your next problem is like this, no? Classify the sizes of the soil particles and determine the corresponding percentage using AASHTO, USCS, USDA, and MIT. Okay? Looking at the table, no, binigay na agad yung percent finer. So, wala nang problema. Ang aalamin na lang natin ngayon, no, ilan daw yung percent ng gravel, ilan yung percent ng sand, ilan yung percent ng silt, and ilan yung percent ng clay, depende sa organizations na ating gagamitin. Okay? But for now, for this example, we will use AASHTO. Okay? AASHTO tayo. Sige, paano natin hahanapin yung inyong gravel, no? So, sabi dito, sabi ni AASHTO, malalaman natin if that is gravel, if the size is in between 76.2 and 2 mm. Okay? So, for example, no, ito yung sieve natin na 76.2. Ito naman yung sieve natin na may opening na 2 mm. Okay? So, kapag nilagyan natin to ng soil mass, no, maybe meron maiiwan dito sa 76.2. Tama? And pwede din na may lumabas or may nagpass, and then yung mga nagpass na bato or na soil is maiiwan ulit sa sieve number, sa sieve na may opening na 2 mm, and then yung iba is lulusot pa din kasi mas maliit sila. So, saan natin malalaman yung percentage ng gravel dito? Okay? Ibig sabihin lang, those are the particles in between the separators. Okay? In between the separators. So, tanong ko ngayon, no, dito sa table, nakikita natin. Sabi niya, if the opening is 4.75, the percent finer or the percent passing is 100. Ibig sabihin, lahat daw is nag-pass na opening ng 4.75. Okay? So, how about if tatanungin ko, how about 76.2 mm? Ilang percent ng gravel or ilang percent ng soil yung magpapas? Tama ba na at 76.2 mm, 100% yung pumasa? I think yes, no? Kasi sa 4.75 mm, that is 100%. How much more if mas malaki yung opening? Ibig sabihin, mas pasok yung soil mass natin. Okay? So, your gravel is somewhere in between the separator, ima-minus lang natin yung percent ng sieve number, sieve na may opening na 2 mm, which is basically, that is 90.272. Ano? 2 mm opening. So, equals natin, that is 9.728%. Ibig sabihin, di ba 771 to? Kasi based on to sa example number 1, no? So, out of 771 na mass ng soil natin, 9% of that is gravel. Sana nagets yan. Okay. So, check na tayo sa gravel. For the sand, okay, its limitation is opening 2 mm and 0.075. So, parang ang nangyari lang dito, no? Ang nangyari dito, this is 2 mm na, tapos ito 0.075. So, makikita natin yung value ng sand in between this separator. Okay? Ano ba yung percentage finer natin sa 2 mm na opening? Diba? That is 90.272 minus ano ba yung percent finer natin, no? Or yung percentage natin if the opening is 0.075. Meron ba tayong 0.075 na opening? Tingnan natin. Yes, meron. So, what is the percent finer ng 0.075? That is 2.335. Okay? So, basically, that is 90.272 minus 2.335. And that is equal to 87.937%. So, 87% of 771 soil mass is sand. Okay? So, move tayo sa silt. Okay? Yung silt na limitation ni AASH to is from 0.075 to 0.002. Okay? Alam natin that the percent finer of 0.075, that is 2.335. But how about 0.002? Meron ba tayong opening na 0.002 according sa table? Di ba wala? Wala tayong nakikita na 0.002. So, anong gagawin natin? Mag-i-interpolate tayo para makuha natin yung 0.002. So, kung mag-i-interpolate tayo, anong value nito? Mahirap sabihin kung ano yung magiging value niyan. Tama? So, ibig sabihin, if wala na tayong nakikita na specific, no, dito, na 0.002, kasi pan na agad yun, no, last na itong pan sa arrangement ng sieve numbers natin, basically, 0.002 is equal to 0. Kasi hindi na natin to pwedeng i-interpolate yung pan ninyo. Okay? Meaning to say, your silt is 2.335%. And your clay, that is less than 0.002. So basically, your clay is 0%. So how will we know if tama yung percentage natin per soil particles? So kapag inad natin ito lahat, no, that should be equal to 100%. Unless otherwise, if hindi yan 100, may mali sa computation natin. Okay, I hope I'm making sense, everyone. So, since tapos na natin yung AASH to, assignment number 2, the same problem, but using USCS, USDA, and MIT. Okay. Example number 4. Okay. So, classify the sizes of the soil particles and determine the corresponding percentages using the methods of AASHTO, USCS, USDA, and MIT. Ma'am, parehas naman yan sa example number 3. Yes, parehas yan to sa example number 3. But how about yung opening? No, yung opening and yung percentage. Present ba siya sa table? Yun lang yung tanong. Okay? Kung kanina ginamit natin AASHTO, ngayon, gagamitin natin is USDA. No? Ibang organization na naman. Sige. So, you have gravel, sand, silt, and clay. The limitation of your gravel is greater than 2. No? So, somewhere greater than 2 daw. So, lahat yan is gravel. No? Since wala tayong upper boundary, unlike your AASHTO, meron kayong upper boundary and lower boundary. No? Kung titingnan natin sa table, tama bang sabihin na yung gravel natin is 100 minus 100? That is 0%. Ma'am, Bakit mo nasabi na 100? Saan nanggaling yung 100? O, tingnan natin yung table. Sabi dito sa table, kapag may opening daw na 0.425 mm, ibig sabihin 100% finer na agad yun. Okay? 100% finer na. Ibig sabihin, pumasa na lahat. So, ibig sabihin, if mas malaki pa yung value ng opening natin, ibig sabihin, 100% pa rin yun. No? In the case of USD, since 2 mm yung limitations natin dito, hanggang 2 mm, ibig sabihin, that is 100%. Bakit hindi magiging 100% yan? No? Sa 0.425 pa lang nga, 100 na, sa 2 pa kaya. So, I'm making sense. No? Sana I'm making sense. So, from 2 to 0.425, no, 100 minus 100, kaya naging 0% yung clay. Okay? So, how about for the sand? Sabi ng sand dito, no, the limitations of your sand is 2 to 0.05. Okay? We know that yung 2 natin is 100%, yung kasasabi ko lang kanina, minus the percent finer of 0.05. Okay, tingin tayo sa table. May 0.05 ba kayong nakikita? Di ba wala? Wala, di ba? So, ano yung gagawin natin kapag hindi natin nakikita yung value? Yes, na mag-i-interpolate tayo. Okay, saan ba natin banda nakikita yung 0.05? Diba? That is somewhere in between 0.425 and 0.03 and 192. So, the same yung gagawin natin. Mode 3-4 pa rin, parehas kanina. And then you have your X and Y. Again, yung X natin, that is your opening. Your percent finer, that is your Y. So, input nyo sa calculator ninyo, 0.4250, 0.0330. So, you have 100 and you have 92. After that, press AC. Okay? And then, punta kayo sa reg. Okay? O baka X hat yung hahanapin ninyo. Mali na yun kapag X hat. No? Kanina, kaya X hat yung hinahanap natin, it's because binigay yung percent finer, yung opening hindi. Kaya X hat, no, para mahanap yung opening. Ngayon, ang nangyari naman ngayon, binigay yung opening pero wala yung percent finer. Okay? Again, ang opening, that is X. Ang percent finer natin, that is Y. If your percent finer is the unknown, X hat pa rin ba tayo? Hindi. No? That should be Y hat na. Kasi yung Y na yung hinahanap natin yung percentage na yung hinahanap. Therefore, ang ilalagay natin dito is 0.05 Y hat. Okay? Ang lalabas dapat na value niyan is 93.301. Meaning to say, from 2 to 0.05, 100 minus 93.301. And that is equal to 6.699%. So, that there is 6% sand. Okay? Dito naman tayo sa silt. Yung silt naman is from 0.05 daw to 0.002. So, alam na natin yung 0.05, diba? Yung 0.05 is 93.301. Okay, next question. May 0.002 ba tayo? Wala, no? But we know na makikita natin yung 0.002 in between 0.0035 and 0.0018. So, ibig sabihin, mag-i-interpolate ulit tayo. Yan. So, new data. So, you have 0.0035, 0.0018. So, you have 61 and 40. Okay? So, anong hahanapin natin dito again? That is your Y hat. So, that is 0.002 Y hat. So, ilan yan? That is 41.0. Therefore, yung silt natin ngayon will be 93.301 minus 41.743, and that is equivalent to 51.558%. Okay, dito tayo sa clay. Yung clay natin is less than 0.002. No, the values. So, since 0.002 na yan, so meaning to say, yung clay natin is equivalent to 41.743. And again, malalaman natin if tama yung answer natin, if tinotal natin ito, and ang sum niya is equivalent to 100%. No, I hope I'm making sense. Okay? Assignment number 3. Assignment ulit para mabilis yung ma-catch up yung problem. Assignment number 3. Okay? Same problem but using AASHTO, USCS, and MIT. Okay? So, next problem tayo. So, the percentages of your gravel, sand, and silt and clay of a particular soil are tabulated as shown. So, you have your soil A, soil B, and soil C. So, take note, itong tatlong to, no, itong data na ito is percent finer na yan. No, binigay na agad. So, calculate the modified, ito from the word, calculate the modified percentage of your sand, silt, and clay for each soil using your USDA textual classification chart, which is ito. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang nito, hinahanapan tayo ng modified percentage. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating modified percentage, no, kino-consider natin yung ating sand, silt, and clay na walang gravel content. Aalisin natin yung gravel content. No? Ang example niyan, tingnan natin yung soil A. As you can see sa soil A ninyo, 0 yung gravel. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, answer na agad to for soil A. Ang modified percent ng sand, that is 34. That is, for silt is 40. For clay, that is 26. So, walang problema kasi 0 na agad yung gravel. Ibig sabihin, wala nang gravel content. Okay? Look at soil B. Okay? So, nakikita ninyo, yung soil B ninyo is meron tayong input or meron tayong value sa inyong gravel. No? So, ang kinakailangan natin gawin dito is tatanggalin natin yung gravel content sa soil B ninyo. At paano natin gagawin yon? Ganito lang. First is ang sand. Yung sand natin, that is 15%. So, divided by 100 minus yung value ng inyong gravel, which is 35. So, times 100 para maging percentage. Therefore, you will have 23.077. How about for the silt? Yung silt, tanggalan natin ng gravel content. So, that is 30 over 100 minus 35 times 100. So, ilan yan? That is 46. No? 46.155. No? Pakicheck lang. Sige lang. No? How about for the clay naman? Yung clay, alisan naman natin ngayon ng gravel. So, that is 20 over 100 minus 35 times 100. And that is 30.769. Ibig sabihin, ito na yung mga percentage or ito na yung modified percentage ng sand, silt, and clay without gravel content. No? Bakit kinakailangan natin kunin yung modified percentage ng sand, silt, and clay natin? It's because yun yung hinahanap ng problem. Kasi gagamitin natin yung USDA textual classification chart. Okay? Which is ito. Ito nakikita ninyo. Itong USDA textual classification chart is dito natin malalaman kung what type of soil yung sinosolve natin. No? For example, what type of soil yung soil A, what type of soil yung soil B, and your soil C. Okay? So dito, no, itong chart na ito, yung pagtingin natin dito should be clockwise. Now, as you can see, you have your percentage of sand going to the right, percentage of clay pataas, and then percentage of silt is pababa. No? Pero baka malito kayo dito ha, kasi sand, silt, and clay. And then, ang nasa table is sand, silt, clay. No? Baka magka-interchange nyo yung value ng silt and clay. So, be careful lang. Okay. Dito, magpa-plot tayo. Okay? Maganda rin to kung meron kayong ruler. So, paano ba natin ipa-plot yung percentage ng sand dito? So, remember, ang orientation dapat natin dito is going like this, yung incline sa sand. Hindi pa ganito. Okay? Clockwise man. No? Mali to. Mali yan. So, dapat, ganito yung orientation natin sa sand. And for the clay, the orientation of your clay should be horizontal. The classification for your silt, no, na interpretation pala rather, should be like this. Hindi pa ganito. Okay? Kasi, kaya ganito yung interpretation ng ating diagram. It's because kung saan mag-i-intersect itong tatlong linya na ito, it will tell us kung anong klaseng soil yung sinosolve natin. Okay, pakitaan ko kayo. Example, itong soil A. Percent of your sand, that is 34. So, baka nandito lang yan. Okay? Percent, clay tayo. Ha, clay tayo. Ilan yung clay? Ha? If sagot nyo is 40, mali agad. Ano ba yung 40, di ba? Silt yan. Clay is 26. So, sabihin natin, nandito yung 26. Okay, and then for your silt is 40. And then, extend nyo lang yung drawing. Yan yung 34. Ito yung 26. And then, ito yung 40. So, paano natin malalaman kung what type of soil yung sinosolve natin? Kung saan mag-i-intersect itong tatlong line na ito, yun yung type of soil na sinosolve natin. Therefore, soil A is, anong type of soil? That is loam soil. Yan ay yung ating conclusion. Sige, next. For soil B. For your soil B, sand is 23. Sand is 23 point something. Clay is 30 point something. And then, silt is 46. Sige, project lang natin. Project. Exage lang yung pagkakadrawing ko Project and project. So, saan ba nag-intersect yung tatlong line natin? That is sa clay loam. Therefore, soil B is a clay loam soil. Nagets ba? Okay. So, anong sunod nito? Alam niyo na. Soil C, assignment number 4. Okay, and I think that is the last. Okay, so that ends our discussion for this topic. So if you have any concern or clarification, kindly meet me at the faculty office. So thank you everyone and God bless.